Hey guys, Marcus Catkin back for another daily fantasy update, and we have a slew of injuries after this week 5 to some pretty big name players. So let's jump right into them. First up, Calvin Johnson. We already knew he wasn't the healthiest guy in the world, but tweaks his ankle here week 5, and right now they're strongly urging him to sit out for week 6. And I think that's best. If you're the Calvin Johnson owner, that's kind of what you want. You want him to sit out maybe a week or two, get fully rested up, and come back basically to the Calvin Johnson we know and love. This basically has all the signs of Roddy White last year when Roddy White got hurt and then kept trying to play through it and just really couldn't get anything going, and then kind of looked himself after he finally sat out a couple weeks and really got it together. So hopefully Calvin Johnson sits out a couple weeks. That's what you want if you're a Calvin Johnson owner. Have him get healthy, have him come back to the guy he used to be. Next up, Rashad Jennings sprains his MCL. Right now they're saying he doesn't need any surgery to fix it, which is good. They're saying he may miss 1 or 2 weeks. Personally, I think he does miss 2 full weeks. Week 8 they have their bye, so kind of makes sense. Have him sit out 2 weeks, give him the 3rd week with the the 3rd week bye, and then come back week 9, 3 weeks off, nice and healthy and ready to go. Next up, we got Montae Ball straining his groin. This groin injury, he had the appendectomy during preseason, so he is just constantly getting banged up. Right now they're saying anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks for Montae Ball, but kind of tough to know who his handcuff is. We saw Ronnie Hillman play a lot, obviously, this past weekend in his absence. So personally, I think Hillman is your number 1 pickup, and then probably C.J. Anderson, followed by Juwan Thompson, a big guy for our writer Matt Dougal, who's mentioned him, Juwan Thompson, quite a few times on the podcast. Next up, we got Zac Stacy, strained calf. We saw him leave this game. We saw Benny Cunningham step in and be pretty productive here. Now, it sounds like Stacy may not miss any time, but kind of hard to trust, especially since he is playing on Monday night in Week 6. So unless you have his direct handcuff in Benny Cunningham, kind of hard to trust Zac Stacy going into Week 6. And finally, a lesser quality fantasy player, Jake Locker, bruises his thumb. Guys, hopefully you weren't starting Jake Locker, but I think this is kind of ups the reason to start any defense playing against the Tennessee Titans. They've been struggling to get things going together, and whether it's Locker or Charlie Whitehurst, it's going to be a great matchup for any team defense or special teams, so start your defense against the Titans. Don't forget to subscribe below for my daily fantasy updates, and follow me on Twitter @MarcusCatkin.